Hello and welcome to another installment of Comparative Reasoning. I'm your host, Sidra Kennedy, and Texas froze. And there's something that can be learned about this. When you look at the stories about Texas, this is a failure of not just politicians and corporations, but the people themselves. They've been brainwashed into thinking that they should never ask for help. And when you don't ask for help, those that should provide that help, they have the freedom to not even render said help. That's the entire point of it. The true propaganda is you work, you pay us, we get paid by other groups, and we tell you to never ask for help, and then we shame you into making sure that sticks. The national checking. You don't want to be weak. The strong pull themselves up by their bootstraps. You don't ask for a handout. Be strong. So you live by that because you don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want to shame. You want to live strong and live up to someone else's belief on what your feminism or masculinity has to be. So you don't ask for help. They don't give you help. And when they don't give you help, that means they can take extra from you. Case in point, areas that are hit strong, their power could have been restored, but it was rerouted to rich people. Because, the more you pay, the more favors you get. In addition, you've got places that could have winterized everything. They could have, but they didn't. Why? They're deregulated. Because regulation has been demonized so much, Texans and people all over the United States of America, whether it be Alaska, Hawaii, the lower 48, don't matter. Everyone has to just chip in and not get anything. Literally chip in to get nothing. You don't demand, you don't request, you just sacrifice. You give everything and then they take everything and then tell you to give more, and you say, I have nothing else to give, but I'm a patriot, so I'm going to give more. And they take advantage of that. The one thing they don't want you to do is wake up. Because while homes freeze, people die, hypothermia, long lines when there shouldn't have been any. You knew this was coming. It's been a decade and they did nothing because they had to do nothing. How do you winterize things using that money and make money? You don't. You don't winterize. You don't check it. You don't regulate. That means you get more money in your pocket. The people will suffer, but you're well off. And the politicians, well, one of them decided, well, I haven't given anything. We're cold. We don't have any power. Let's go to Mexico. Get called out on it, make a lie, come back. Texas is not just simply a place to learn a lesson. It's a warning. Because it's happened all over the United States of America. Nobody's giving any true help. AOC can raise the money she wants, but that money is going to go to Tejas, and it's not going to go to where you think it's going to go. They'll find a way to bamboozle, pull the okie doke, and get that money to where they need it to go to retain the money and power that they have. That's just how that is going to play out. And while all of this is happening, every politician in Tejas knows that these people are going to vote for them again. It's a red state. It's a red-blooded people. And by golly, we're going to keep it red because, yeah. Now, I ain't saying you need to vote for a Democrat. I ain't saying that at all. Don't do that. Because all you'll get is, we do enough for you to not revolt. That's the Democrats. We do enough for you to not revolt. where the Republicans are like, not only will we do enough where anyone should revolt, but we're going to make sure that your mentality is when we won't revolt because we're not weak. That's the difference. Don't vote for a Democrat. Don't vote for a Republican. Large numbers of people are saying we need a third party. And while this country is hard pressed for a third party, we need people out there that's going to help form it. We don't need these talk show hosts on YouTube that talk about, well, this is a two-party system and they make it impossible for another party and things. And while there are parties made, I'll vote. I won't stop people from voting for them, but I won't have any hope that they will do anything. That Weasley mess. No. If you know of another party that's not Republican or Democrat driven and or owned, and it is forward thinking, people assisting, forward, not just forward thinking, but forward doing. They want to do better. They want to help you. Then vote for that person. Get into that party. And hey, this was not on the ballot. It's not easy to just circle it. Right. You didn't go to school for nothing. Right. Write the name in. Find out what their actual name is and write that name in. Spell it correctly. That's your freedom. That's your right. That's your entitlement. That's your justification. Use it. Take advantage of it. Because everywhere else, whether the vaccines are sold or destroyed, or the COVID death count is miscalculated some magical way, this stuff is happening all over the place. And no, you don't need to compare this to another country. We need to compare it to what we should have, to what we do have, and what we need. That's what we have to do. The two-party system hasn't just failed you, it's throwing it in your face that they aren't for you. Stop asking them for permission and start demanding by voting for something better, something different. You throw it in their face that you have lost us, and we're going to go with people that's for human rights, human dignity. That's what you do. This has been Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.